Manchester City arrive to a great reception, unbeaten in 16 games as Pep's side chase a 5th title in 6 seasons. And he brings Kyle Walker into the starting lineup tonight with Laporte on the bench. Manuel Akanji plays. Bernardo Silva starts on the right of the front three. And up front, Erling Haaland is looking to add to his 48 goals this season. Arsenal are chasing their first title since 2004, but after an incredible season, they've dropped some key points recently. Mikel Arteta is boosted by having Granit Xhaka back from illness, though, and 2 former City champions are back. Oleg Zinchenko continues at left back, and Gabriel Jesus leads the line. Well, Arsenal are 5 points ahead of Manchester City, having played 2 games more. A Gunners' victory would put them 8 points clear, and the Premier League title would move a step closer to North London. A win for the citizens would close that gap to just 2 points, but put Pep's side firmly in the driving seat. It is one of the most eagerly anticipated Premier League games in recent times, and joining me for this monster fixture, Rio Ferdinand is with me, Martin Keown, a very special guest with Patrick Vieira here as well, and Mikel Arteta has just joined us as well. Lovely to see you, Mikel. First of all, just how proud are you of your team to have reached this point in the first place?
Well, this is what we have to be. We're Arsenal Football Club, and we have to aim to be always at the highest level, and we have managed to do that for 9 months, and it's the last push. And obviously, this is a critical moment in the season to see where we are and what we can achieve.
You dominated possession in the FA Cup game here. How important is it tonight to play your way?
Yeah, we want to play our way, we want to win. And at the end, we didn't manage to win. So you have to be clinical. You have to be at your best in every department against a team that has the ability to punish you in any moment. But we have as well our resources to create problems, and this is what we're going to try to do today.
Mikel, in the Premier League, 11 games, you haven't beaten Man City. 6 of them you was in charge. How do you go about changing that form?
Well, being better, we've been really close in the last 3 matches, but we missed something. We haven't been clinical enough in the boxes, and we always give them 1 or 2 opportunities to punish us, and they've done. So, as I said before, you have to be incredibly good in every department at every minute to win the game at the end, because what we've done, it wasn't enough to win it.
You managed to bring hope to Arsenal Football Club to win the title. And the last game against Southampton, after the game, they were quite a big disappointment not winning the game. So what did you use this week just to lift the spirit and to explain to them that it's not over yet?
Well, they know it's not over, and obviously we have to look ourselves in the mirror in that game, especially for the goals that we conceded. But at the same time, we have to look at ourselves for what we've done the whole season, the capacity that the team has to react in difficult moments, and that when we play at our best, we can beat any team.
Boss, you look incredibly relaxed this evening. You know Pep Guardiola really well, and what a tactician he is. Do you think he's got anything up his sleeve tonight? And how have you actually planned for that, if that happens?
For sure, and this can happen in minute 1, it can happen in minute 20, it can happen in minute 60, it can happen with subs, it can happen with shape. It's already Kyle Walker playing in the team. They're playing without any left footers in the back line. So for sure they have worked on something like we have, and then at the end it's down to the players.
Let's see what happens.
And Mikel, Pep's called this game the final. Do you have to win?
We're going to try to win, that's for sure. But after that, there is another 5 games that, as you see, the fixtures and all the results that are happening, it's still a long way to go.
Mikel, thank you very much. We wish you the best tonight. Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Patrick, great to have you with us as part of the team this evening. Can you feel that big game atmosphere in the air?
You feel the pressure. There is it's going to be a big crowd. People are talking about the game, and you expect a big game. This is, I believe, the 2 best teams in the Premier League. The way they play the game, they deserve to win the title. But at the end, it's going to be only 1 winner. So I expect a really difficult games for both teams.
How much did you used to relish these occasions?
You know, in our time at Arsenal, when I was young, I remember having experienced players. And I think that will be important for Arsenal, with the lack of experience they have in the team, to have those young players who can bring energy and bring their enthusiasm and to play like they've been doing since the start of the season.
so many Arsenal legends here tonight. It's like a reunion, Martin. What was it like having this guy on your team?
He made my job really easy. In fact, he rescued my career because I just had to play a 5-yard pass into Patrick and he never gave me it back. But no, we had a real togetherness. As Patrick's right, we had a lot of experience. And I think that's maybe costing Arsenal just at the moment because it is quite a tricky terrain in those last few games. It's like a countdown. Just got to do your job. But they need something of inspiration here tonight to pull off a win because Man City are in incredible form right now.
Yeah, amazing form at the moment. Also on our team tonight, we have Julian Lescott. He is alongside Des Kelly now, and they have found some comfy seats with the Manchester City boss.
Thanks, Lizzie. They're not comfy seats because we'll be sitting on the edge of our seats all night. And Pep, this is an incredible game. Great hype around this match. I know it's not a final, but are you approaching it like a final?
Why you stole my seat?
That's my new job.
It is a really important game, not decisive, but really important game.
Do you still get those butterflies in the stomach before these big games?
More than welcome. If you don't have these butterflies, so the people have to leave the nervous, leave it, anxious and the happiness. So everyone thinks everyone has to be calm, everyone needs to be happy. It will be boring our life, so have to be the normal tension, adapt it and go for it.
So is this game easier to control the motivation or contain or encourage the players from a player's perspective?
This type of games, the less you say, much better. Yeah. Much better, yeah, definitely. So everybody knows exactly on which team we're going to face and what you have to do.
And off the back of the selection, Nathan Ake, who's been exceptional this season, how much was it just a simple personnel change or a tactical change as well?
Well, the back four give us a lot of confidence with Kyle inside, and in terms of doing duels, you have to put guys that are able to control Saka and Martinelli. They are incredible weapons, plus Gabriel, of course. But it's all destructive, and Arsenal always is really good. So, but in the same time, we played 2 times this season against them. We have an idea more or less the game, what is going to happen, and try to read it and impose our game.
Is it another complication that Mikel Arteta so well? He's almost your alter ego. The sharing of information, the double guessing each other.
I want to be more than clear than that. So, what Arsenal has done so far this season, and the process belongs absolutely another person than Mikel and his staff and all his players. So, I'm not involved in any 1 point they got in the Premier League. I'm responsible on that. So. We were together. I part of myself. I was delighted to work with him, but after that, he decided to move an exceptional club, and everyone has done. I have seen how good what he has created.
Absolutely right. You need this place tonight. Your home record's been brilliant, but you want the crowd with you tonight.
No, I love that we play at home, so we feel comfortable. Magnificent stadium. The grass is in perfect condition. So, yeah. I have to admit it, I don't know what's going to happen, but we prefer here than Emirates.
Bring it on, we're looking forward to it. Good luck, Pep.
Thank you so much.
Julian has joined us now. Julian, how did Pep seem? Did he seem relaxed?
Yeah, very relaxed. Welcoming. Seems like he's up for the fight as well, excited by the challenge, and he's aware of how important this game is.
It was interesting listening to him talking about nerves, Rio. How did you manage that ahead of games like this?
I would actually be worried if me or my players didn't have nerves. I think that's part and parcel of these games, is managing those nerves. But nerves are good, I think, at this stage. If you go into these games and you just feel free, and it can borderline be complacent, so managing that is good. I think having that nervous energy coming out here, feeding off that buzz, I think we all love that. It's a part of it.
Did you feel that, Martin, and how did you handle it?
I was a player that...
You've got a wry smile there.
I was always a player that had to... Actually, Arsene Wenger got the best out of me because I was too uptight, tense, and of course I'd look around the dressing room and I'd draw off the energy from the players, and I think that's what you need to do. But these are games that you could wait your whole career for. So if you're fearful of this, then what are you in the game for? You've got to love it. You've got to embrace it. It's a big challenge. Of course it is. But when we took to the pitch, and back in the day it was a Manchester United up against, we went out with our shoulders up, back, heads up, and we knew we could do battle because you could go anywhere with this group of players. They're so good. That's the feeling the Arsenal players need to have today. And that was the message from Arsene Wenger. Believe in each other, trust your teammate, and go and do your job. And that's what Arsenal need to do tonight.
What were the key Arsene Wenger messages that stuck in your head, Patrick, ahead of big occasions?
It's about the togetherness. It's about the team. And to perform well, you need to do it as a team. So it was more collective messages. And winning at Old Trafford was one of the most difficult places to go and to get the result. But the team togetherness helped us to get results.
And give the ball to Henry as well. It's always handy, especially if you're playing against this fella.
I think it's that having the belief in your teammates bring that confidence. I think you could go out onto the pitch fearful if you really feel inferior to your opposition. I think that's a big thing today. You look at this Arsenal team. Great young players, great potential, great talent. They've got to go and prove it now. This is a key stage game. This is theatrical. This is what you want, we dream of as a young player. Go out here, you're either going to be fearful or you're going to meet this challenge head on, and that's what we've got to see today.
What about Sir Alex then? What sort of impact did he have ahead of huge title deciders like this?
I think he was instilling the confidence in you. I've brought you to this club. You're obviously good enough. Go out and show me why I brought you here. And that's what these players need. They need to be given that confidence to go and perform on this type of stage. And this isn't about ability sometimes on this stage. It's about what's in there. Can you control your feelings? Can you control the emotions? You're not too high in moments, not too low in moments if you make a mistake. Can you recover after your first bad pass or your first bad touch? Some players fold and they can't ever recover, and then the game's gone. So you've got to manage your situations through every stage of the game, which is very, very difficult for people.
You talked in the interview as well, Jolyon, about just how well these two know each other as well, but no room for sentimentality tonight.
Oh, never that. It's never the case. I played with and against some of the friends like Rio, but we never spoke in a build-up to a game. You're always professional and approach the game in the right way because you know how important it is and you know what's at stake.
If the French players, our national players, are meeting up before the game, he'd be kissing the other players. And I said, get away. You never kiss me.
Never stop us to perform.
Yes. We know, Patrick. We've seen the highlights reels. We absolutely know. We're going to take a quick break now then. And Pep Guardiola has issued a rallying cry.
My main dream are the 3 Grand Tours, but I know that's a hard way and a long way. But yeah, I'm still young and I have a long way to go, so we're going to work hard and then hopefully I can win one of the 3 Grand Tours.
Hi there, my dear cycling fans. Let's get started on our long journey at the very heart of cycling. This exciting world will definitely win the hearts of both true fans and the newbies. Subscribe to our channel, like and turn on the notification bell not to miss anything. In January 1990, Peter Sagan was born, the most popular racer of the last decade. Exactly 10 years later, in January 2000, another racer who could take the place of Sagan was born. Remco Evenepoel is not just one more talented junior, but the one who can become the main cycling star for many years to come. Money. What does any sport need? Money. What does it take to attract sponsors with money? Fans' attention. You must admit that few people would like to invest in a sport that is not popular with the public. In the US, cycling is obviously not ahead of the curves. It is not just inferior to the most hyped disciplines as football, MMA, basketball, and baseball, but also loses to many other sports. In some countries, the situation is a bit different. Belgium, France, Italy, Great Britain, and the Netherlands adore cycling. Very often, it hits the headlines of papers and sports, internet portals there. In a global sense, cycling is somewhere in the middle, lagging behind the leaders, but rather confidently surpassing the outsiders. Nevertheless, there are more than enough sponsors for 19 teams of the World Tour with budgets of 10 million euros. And there are also quite a lot of racers with a salary of more than 1 million euros. What else could attract additional attention to cycling? Vivid racers who show their worth not only at a distance, but beyond it as well. What cycling stars look like. Primož Roglič, Chris Froome, Wout van Aert, Alejandro Valverde, and many others are the stars of the peloton. Their racing characteristics differ, but they behave almost in the same way both at the distance and after the finish, when they undertake interviews. They are all calm guys who praise their teammates and speak respectfully about their opponents. Yes, that is proper, but very boring. One could get the feeling that the racers, like programmed robots, say and do the same things. It is hard to blame them for this. The point is that many of them cannot express their thoughts more openly due to the fact that the teams have sponsors who do not need negative press because of their freaks. Exactly for this reason, we get cookie-cutter interviews, cautious statements, and boredom. Public always wants to get something hot, to discuss a scandal or sensation. This is part of being human. The public affairs offices of the teams and the racers themselves are trying not to stand out. As a result, in recent years, cycling has lacked bright characters. Why Remco is more interesting than others.
Yeah, it was my main goal this week, and I got the 2 races I wanted to win, so what a season.
At the turn of the century, Lance Armstrong was very popular. He was the perfect star for cycling, an American with a beautiful life story, who wins a lot and always has a ready tongue, tough and straightforward. After a while, Peter Sagan took the place of Armstrong. He did not reach the level of popularity and stardom of a famous American because of 2 reasons. First, he did not win the overall classification of the Tour de France. And second, he represented a small country with a small population that was not really into cycling. Now the place of the most popular and attractive racer for sponsors is vacant. Sagan is still performing, but it looks like his crowning glory has already passed. Some young talents can take Peter's place. The main candidates are Mathieu van der Poel, Wout van Aert, Egan Bernal, Tadej Pogacar, Mark Hirschi, and Remco Evenepoel. Almost all of them race in a bright and aggressive manner. They often win, but only Evenepoel has everything to become the main cycling star. The young Belgian evokes different emotions. Some love him, and some can't even stand him. The ambiguous attitude is caused by his behavior and comments on press. He makes loud statements and has an explosive character that strikingly differs from Pogacar, Bernal, and others. Of course, Evenepoel is still far from Armstrong, both in charisma and in titles, if not taking into account his disqualification. Note, the Belgian has great potential in this regard, and Belgium itself is, of course, not the United States, but a much more attractive country for cycling than Sagan's Slovakia. Do you know what Remco did when he became more or less popular in his 19? Immediately, he started an online store with his own clothing brand. This also characterizes him as a future star. Plus, the sales profit goes for charity needs. The media has been paying closer attention to him. His personal life is being widely discussed, and scandals are inflating around him almost out of the blue. For example, in August and September on the internet, they were vigorously discussing what was the thing the sports director David Bramati quickly pulled out of his pocket after the fall on Il Lombardia. The UCI even intervened in the case and carried out an investigation on hot scents. All in all, the suspicions were not verified, but Evenepoel has endured a great deal on social media. Comparisons with Sagan. The current Remco resembles the young Sagan from 2011 to 2013. At the time, Peter appeared in public in t-shirts with ambiguous inscriptions, got into a scandal because of his inappropriate behavior on the podium Tour de Flandres, and infuriated many honored racers. In 2012, Sagan first came to the Tour de France in the end. In 2012, Sagan first came to the Tour de France. In the end, he won 3 stages in a green jersey. He made whoopee while celebrating his victory at the finish line, and that greatly annoyed Fabian Cancellara. A similar episode has already occurred in the career of the 20-year-old Belgian. At the end of July 2020, he won the mountain stage of the Volta a Burgos and seemed to shake something off his shoulders at the finish line. In a cycling world where everyone seems to be so right, this gesture has received confused reactions. This can even be interpreted as disrespect for the rivals. By the way, Evenepoel has already found himself in a delicate situation, a bit similar to the racer Bora Hansgrohe on the 2013 Tour de Flandres. It was in Argentina at the Volta a San Juan. But there, he was rather framed as Nick's quick-step teammate Ilio Kaisi. The parallels between the young Slovak and the Belgian are self-evident. even despite the complete different racing specialization. Over the years, Peter settled down and began to behave much more balanced, whereas Remco has all that ahead. Future. It is Remco Evenepoel who should become the main face of cycling. There are many prerequisites for this. He is active on social networks, harsh in his statements, bright at a distance, and super talented. Is he fit for the role? Yes, he is. Of course, like all of us, he's not perfect, but the public never needed the right heroes. Cycling is not Gotham City, but it also needs a controversial hero to rescue everyone from boredom. Evenepoel may not become Batman, but he is pretty good for the role of a new cycling hero. To sum it up, the new leader will benefit the entire industry, which obviously lacks bright personalities that could cause a storm of emotions in the public minds.